Hello, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to hop on here for a minute and show you guys exactly what my debt tracker or my worksheets look like at the end of the month once I've filled everything out in them and before I get ready to move into the next month's worksheets. So this first page here is just my month at a glance. This does not change from the first time that I set this up at the beginning of the month, so nothing's changed. I will typically go through here and check these off. Sometimes I forget to do that, but that's something that I'll do if I'm really have the time to do it. So another thing that we have is my monthly goals and reminders. This again did not change since I first showed you guys what my setup looks like. My monthly goals for the month for financial were pay $1,000 towards my car, pay $800 to my student loans, save $300 in savings. I had no birthdays to budget for this month. I did have Father's Day. My budget was $50. I did spend a little more than that, so it's going to be a note for myself for next year. My top 3 personal goals for this month were that I wanted to work out at least 4 times a week, wake up at 4 a.m. on the work days, and work every day in my new devotional. I will let you guys know how I did with this on the last page. Next is my paycheck trackers. I don't really have to go over those for the month of June. Those are just how I allocated my money. This is my expense tracker. This doesn't look very different than well, I showed it on Instagram, but I usually update this as I go between my spending periods. My spending periods are 2 weeks at a time. I used to call them cash envelopes periods, but I don't use cash envelopes anymore. So I guess they would just be my spending times that I'm spending cash. Anyways, so for food, I spent $599.31. For miscellaneous, I spent $139.50. And for fun, I only spent $41.06. So my budget is a lot higher than that for fun. I guess I just didn't have anything to spend my fun money on, but I did end up spending it on other things, just not in the category of fun. So that's one of my goals is that for next month is that I want to actually use the cash that it's for. And if I don't have the cash for it, then can't do it. So for example, if I was running low on my food money and I had a lot of fun, I may just pull out of my fun money to pay for the food. But I only want to do that if it's something fun that we're doing. So if we went to like a carnival, or if we went to, you know, even if it was to go get ice cream for the evening, whatever it is, I want to make sure that I'm using the right fund. So that's going to be one of my goals for next month. But this is what my expense tracker looks like. These are my sinking funds. I will do a whole YouTube on sinking funds if I haven't already. These are kind of complicated, but just know essentially sinking funds are just mini savings basically. So these are the funds that I save for. Starting next month, I'll be saving for my daughter's birthday, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. I don't have a ton to save for Thanksgiving because I work crazy hours around that time, but I'm sure I will make my family a Thanksgiving dinner. I just want to have some savings for it. And then by Christmas, I want to have a good chunk saved for Christmas. So I want to start as early as possible to make the least, it will take the least amount later. I don't have to start saving hundreds of dollars right before Christmas. So that's basically, this is what I started with at the beginning of the month. I did not add anything the first paycheck of June. I did the second paycheck of June. I did take some money out each paycheck of June, but I noted that here. So this is my ending balance. So starting plus this, minus this equals that. That's how I got this number down here. So that is what is in my sinking funds account right now. And so when I pull up my credit union and I look and I see, okay, I have $2,304 plus a little bit of a cushion, so it's more than that, but I have this amount. Okay, so what do I have for each of these areas? And then I can just go to my sheet and know that these are the monies that I've allocated for each fund. So next I have my last 3 pages are my favorite 3 pages. They are starting with my snowball debt repayment plan. I have listed out the name of the creditors that I have right here that I pay each time. And I have the balance of each one, the interest rate, the minimum payment, the extra payment, and what the new balance is. So every time I make a payment, I list the name of the creditor here. I list the new balance, which I get once I make that payment. So when I made this payment, it came down here to be my starting balance down here. I always list the interest rate. The minimum payment, so this is typically what I first pay in the month, is up here, and then anything extra from that payment that I made gets listed here. So when I make my first payment for my car, it's an extra $41.59 that I pay. My student loans, I'm technically in deferment, but I still pay every month, so I don't have a minimum payment, so I'm just paying $200. Our Georgia mortgage is $951.05. We pay an extra $48.95 every month. Our Colorado home, that's our mortgage. We pay an extra $151.25 a month. My husband's truck, we don't pay any extra on that ever. Right now I'm in a frenzy to try and pay my car off, so that's why you see my car loan here so often. My goal was $1,000. I did pay a little bit over $1,000, but with interest, I ended up needing to pay $14.09 to get it to be exactly $1,000. So in the beginning of the month, I started with that balance. This is what I'm ending. So this was my total. This is total what I owe now, which is what I brought down to here. So my last month's total debt minus this month's total debt, we paid off a total of $3,050 after, you know, the interest and everything was taken out. We paid way more than that towards debt, but this is what was applied to the principal. So we started with this amount for debt. This was our ending debt for this month. So our difference in our overall balance we've paid off so far is $21,717.28, or 38 cents, sorry. So that is my favorite page, honestly. Single-handedly, this is my favorite. I love to watch the the traction that I'm able to make. So I love this page. This is my second favorite page. This is my net worth. So here I list out all of our assets, and then I subtract all of our liabilities from here. So my Georgia home is currently worth $172,277, and we currently owe $141,735. Our Colorado home took a significant jump this month. It's now worth $299,210, and we owe $296,479. This is huge. This is the first time that we've been above what it's worth, because we just closed in January. So of course you take a little bit of a hit when everything gets rolled into the loan, like just the random fees and the VA loan fee and all this extra stuff that gets rolled into it. We bought the house at $290. So, you know, we financed about $300. So we've paid off, you know, about $4,000 since January, which is crazy considering that we pay like, you know, $1,800 or $1,900 a month. But it is now worth more than what we owe. So that's super, super exciting for us. That was, you know, it's totally defeating buying something and knowing that you owe more than what it's worth right now. But of course, you know, homes are always an investment. So anyways, our truck is worth $22,000-ish. He owes about $10,433. My Equinox, it is worth about $11,972, and I owe $4,163. So I don't list out my specifics in here. That's one thing my husband is just weird about. So I totally understand that. So I just like to list here what were some of the wins, like what some of the stuff going on under here. So our regular savings, we saved $315.28, which is really exciting. My goal was $300. So that's my third goal that I met. If I didn't show you guys already on here, when you add up all this, so I paid $300 here for my car, 150 plus 150 is 300, another 300, that's 600. Then I paid, that's 900. I paid 102 here, so it's a little bit over 1,000. And then to make it right, as far as like the interest rate went, I made an extra $14.09 for a payment. So that was my first goal, to pay 1,000. My second goal was to pay 800. I didn't make it right with make it exactly 800 with interest, because I accumulate interest every single day on these loans. For my student loans, I paid 200, 400, that makes 600, and another 200, that makes 800. So that was my second goal. And here you can see that I paid $300 into our savings, meeting all three goals just barely. Next, I'm going to talk about, we had a significant increase on our net worth this month. I'm really excited to share that with you guys, but there was a few contributing factors that I want to talk through, but one being what's going on down here is I increased our savings just slightly. And then my 401k went up tremendously this month, mainly because I took a major dip last month in my 401k, but it's up this month. So that's one thing I have going on over here. So when I take all my assets, so if you were to do this at home, you're going to list out all of your assets, any savings accounts that you have, anything that you have that can be turned into cash as an asset, if it's not already. So my cash in here is just cash, minus my 401k. It's still cash, but I couldn't take it out tomorrow. And then my assets are, you know, these things could be turned into cash if need be. And then these are my liabilities. We obviously owe on both of our Georgia and Colorado homes. We owe on our cars, our vehicles, my husband's truck, my car. Almost done with that one. As soon as I'm done with this one, I'm gonna be hitting my student loans pretty hard. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that my husband's truck was stolen this month for the second time. So next month, my net worth will look very different because we no longer have this vehicle, but the transaction has not officially taken place that they have covered it. We are in the last final steps, so my net worth will look very different next month, but since nothing's technically changed, I left it on here for now. But yeah, so that's that. So what is my net worth for the month? $108,371.92. That is huge. We took nearly a $20,000 increase. So I always like to talk about how we got there. So like I said, I don't list all these out in here, but my 401k went up tremendously. It went up $3,200. My savings went up by $300. We paid, as far as our liabilities, we decreased our liabilities by $3,050. So that was a contributing factor. Our Colorado home went up in value by over $8,000 this month. And then our Georgia home went up in value by over $3,200 this month. So we saw an increase here without even doing anything. We own the home, we're sitting on it, we're paying on it. That's just, we didn't contribute to that in any way, but that's one of the, you know, gains or pros there are to owning different homes. So this is a rental for us. I don't talk much about the rental income because I use that to pay that's how I come up with our cash for the month. So we pay our mortgage right when we get paid, and then when we get paid back from our renter, we just use that to take out our cash for the whole month. Not all that we get paid, but some of it. And then we put the rest into a savings account. So that's how we got that. Sorry, I have a little note over here that I'm using. And then, so yeah, that's it. So my 401k went up, my Colorado and Georgia house went up, our savings went up some, and then we decreased our liabilities. So that's how we got here. So yeah, I highly encourage you guys to use a net worth of some kind just to be able to track and see what's going on. I cannot believe that we hit over $100,000. That is insane to me. Another thing that I don't talk about on here is my husband has a side business, like a legitimate LLC, where he gets paid for the work that he does he buys and fixes robot vacuums. So that's something that I don't include in our net worth because it's almost like the net worth of the company, I guess you could say. And I don't really talk a lot about that on here, but that's another thing that we have going that we want to be able to build up and use towards, you know, building a successful business for either the remainder of the time when he's in the military or, you know, being able to retire with it one day, or, you know, at least using the funds from that to create a bigger retirement plan for us. So that's our net worth. And then, oh, this was the wrong net worth. I accidentally slipped that one in there. I messed that one up along the way. Okay, so my month end reflection. This is the first month that I've done these, and I can honestly say I really, really like these. So my financial wins is that I met all 3 goals that I had for myself, just barely on all 3, but I made it. My net worth grew by $19,954.96. My financial opportunities this month were, I had a little bit of reckless cash spending. The first pay period of June, I just don't even know what happened, but I was just barely scraping by come the last few days of my cash spending, or like my last few days in that period. I was just barely scraping by, and I want to make sure that I'm better about that. So I have been much better this week. I still have another week in this cash period, but I am doing much, much better, and that's going to be another goal. So you guys have already heard me talk about 2 goals for next month for financial wins. I will go over them, of course, when I make my new when I go over my new sheets, but one of them is going to be staying in the right category for my cash spending. So not pulling from fun for food unless it really is something that we're doing for fun. And then my reckless cash spend, I want to be really diligent with my cash spending. Before, I used to think, hey, if I have the money for it, then I'll buy it, which is totally, you know, true. You can, you've allocated that money for that, but you never know what's going to come up. And I was just barely scraping by 3 weeks ago. So my next one is budgeting for planning materials. So I talked about that in my sinking funds. I had 2 transactions this month for planning materials that I did not budget for. So I took it out of my savings, which ended up being fine. But I don't want to do that all the time. Like, I want to plan for that. If I want to buy more budgeting materials, then I need to be able to have a budget for it. So that's why I started the sinking fund for it. My personal goal achievements this month where I did work out at least 4 times, it was 4 times every single week. So next month, I think I'm going to have it be 5 times a week. I don't know if it was just like a mental thing that was like, oh, I already did it 4 times. I don't do it again. I think if I push myself, I can do better. So that's probably gonna be one of my personal goals for next month. And then I worked on my devotional every single day this month. I'm really proud of that. I did not meet my goal of getting up at 4 a.m. every day. It just didn't happen every day that I worked. When I don't work, I still try to get up at 5, or even sometimes 4 if I've had enough rest. But the last 2 days I've gone to work at 4 a.m. and I was just exhausted. And guess what? My kids were up at 5:30. They were actually up before I was. So tomorrow I'm definitely getting up early. I don't care how I feel. I need that time. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're screaming in their bedroom. And then as far as my side hustle goes, this is not considered anything from my husband's business. This is just stuff that we've purchased to kind of make money on the side. This goes to, we have a cash fund that we keep here in the house that goes towards anything that we need for the house. So if my husband has to go to Harbor Freight, Home Depot, Lowe's, anything like that, we will take from this cash account. So we bought a pallet recently, or back in January, of trash cans. So we just sold the last ones this month, but I made $45 from selling those last few. My husband recently bought a Pokemon pallet, and we got about $145 in cash from some of the items that we sold on there. And then clothes, I've been selling some of my clothes and the kids' clothes just randomly, and I made $27 from that. So typically when we make any cash, it goes straight into that home cash fund, because if you follow me on Instagram, we've just had the hardest time with our Colorado house, and we just need to make sure that we don't ever put ourselves in debt if we don't have to for fixing things up around this house. So that's my month-end reflection. And if you guys have any questions about this, please let me know. If you guys are interested about what sheets I'm using, these are mine that I've personally made. You can find them on ashleymarieplans.com. And they are the only thing that I have listed for sale on there, so you shouldn't have a problem finding that. Please send me a message, send me a comment, subscribe if you like what you saw today, and I will see you next time.